Fuck that bitch and give her back pain. I feel like Dame Dollar, never gave a Dame a dollar. Yeah, I do it that way. I feel like T-Miles on draft day. I fuck that bitch and give her back pain. I feel like Dame Dollar, never gave a Dame a dollar. Yeah, I do it that way.
What is up, everyone? It is Andrew Peer here of Beta AT Production and Publishing, bringing you guys a new YouTube video. In this YouTube video, I'm going to be breaking down how to mix and master a beat. So pretty much we got a trap beat, or just I wouldn't even go so far calling it a trap beat, just a I would say a modern, typical, standard beat. I'm gonna go ahead and play it. As you can see here, we have everything in the mixer, but absolutely nothing is mixed and nothing is on. The limiter over on the master channel is just making sure it doesn't peak. So we're gonna go ahead and play just a part of it without the mixing, and we're gonna go ahead and get started after that. So as you can tell, the beat isn't bad itself, but when we listen to the actual quality, it's not that good. It's just like everything's muddy, everything sounds like smashed together, but in the absolutely worst way. Not exactly the worst way, but just not a good way. So what we're going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and move these over these instruments, holding Alt and using the arrows. I just want to move it over so all my instruments are next to each other. I'm going to move this kick over here by the 808. This is just for my own viewing purposes. So what I'm going to do is isolate the main sound. So I want to, that's way too loud. I want to pull it down to like -12, -9 dB. There's a stereo enhancer. I'm gonna actually get rid of this. That was actually from prior. So now that's like the range where I like it. Let's go ahead and get the EQ just real quick. This is an equalizer, so we're going to be able to manipulate the frequencies by either cutting or boosting them, going up or down, down being cutting, up being boosting. So I'm going to see where the sound is coming from. I always want to cut the low of my main sounds, usually, especially when it's like a synth like this where there's really nothing in that low. I might do a slight boost in that upper high range, but the purpose of this is because we got 808s that are going to be coming in, and I want to make sure that absolutely no sound is coming through. I mean, no sound is going to be fighting against that muddy, powerful 808. I want that 808 to be clean, and cutting the frequencies from the elements that we don't need will help that. I'm gonna add a little compressor. So I'm gonna pull down the threshold and then the ratio. So about if it goes over 2.6 dB, it's gonna pull it back down to 1. Attack is how fast the compressor is gonna come on. So 10 is gonna, I want it to come on pretty fast. So we're gonna see what it sounds like now. This is gonna make the sound crunched and just stick together. So now we got the 808, or no, hi-hat. Pull that hi-hat down right there. Get that EQ, cut that low out, because I just personally don't even like the low in this hi-hat. I really want to get the transient and like the transient being that sound and the hi-hat. I want to get that to come out as much as possible for this beat specifically. So there's that open hat. We'll boost it, that high, cut. There's that kick. I want to boost that kick around the 60 to 80 hertz. So let's come up here. I know I want my 808 to be a little bit quieter than the kick. So I can see the 808 where it's sitting right there. Pull that down. Now I'm going to pull up a Maximus, which is essentially just a kind of like a multi-band compressor in a way, where we can select the different bands and compress it at different points. I like to use the kick pump, and multi-bands is pretty much like an EQ. So you can see the kick pump, it's really boosting that mid and low. We can honestly turn off the high altogether. So without it, with it. So I think we should pull these elements down. Pulling in an EQ for that 808. I like doing that boosting around the 60 hertz because it's gonna get that sub range. Alright, we can also do a little bit of compression as well, pulling down that threshold. I want to make it pretty harsh and then pull down that attack. Just boost it a little bit. Alright, we're going to pull down this reverb. This this is a snare and it has a reverb from it from prior, but we're gonna do a boost in the high. Cut that low. Have that snare somewhat close to the kick and loudness. So add in an EQ after that reverb for the percussion. Pull these all down just a little bit. Alright, so now let's continue. Pull that flute down so it's like kind of sitting in the middle. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and grab EQ for the master. We kind of got a fair mix in there. We can go into this bass line over here. And I pull this down. Grab the EQ. So that bass line, I wanted to cut down some of the high end and obviously boost the bass just a little bit, not too much. And yeah, we kept it like that. Pulled it down so it sits a little bit nicer in there. So pulling up this EQ, now it looks like we got everything mixed in there. Little dip right there. I like to add in a little sound goodizer just to add a little bit of flair and texture. As you can see, I'm doing like the most smallest amount. Sound goodizer is just a one knob turn or a mixed level turn for 4 different compressor types, so A, B, C, or D. I got A, and I got just the minimal amount of it coming through. And so now we are gonna pull up. I personally like using the iZotope Ozone for mastering. So, I mean, for the most part, as of lately. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, so inside our iZotope, let's pull it up. Close. I'm going to turn on the master and turn on the stereo imaging. I want to stereoize it just a little bit. I don't like to fiddle with the bass on stereo imaging, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to pull up the high mid a little bit, and then just a little bit of that. Now I'm going to start compressing it by pulling down the threshold, leaving the margin at 0. So Alright, so I added a little bit of distortion over to that 808 just to add a bit of texture, but you can see I pulled down the mix and it's not so harsh of a threshold. So did that, and then for the isotope, essentially you can just toss on a limiter. I pulled it down a fair bit just so I can maximize the loudness of this beat. And this is just a really quick way of doing it. So you probably should, normally I would invest a little bit more time when mastering it, but if you guys want to get that quick master, essentially you're wanting to make sure that you don't go over 0 dB. I like to go for negative 3 dB to 0. This is just a really quick rundown to getting your beats. It's when you start working with vocals and other stuff, it starts getting a little bit more complicated. But with just a beat, this isn't like the worst thing to do. Just getting that isotope, bringing that loudness a little bit more. So I'm gonna play it. Let's just get up to here. So you can see like how loud it is up here. I just paused it by clicking it. Honestly, we could pull this down just probably about 0.5 more dB, and we should probably get a little bit louder. So yeah, that's just one way of going about it. So that's just a quick way to mix and master a rap beat or a trap beat. This is like a new, kind of like a more modern approach of going about it. We got it to sound pretty loud. We just EQ'd most of the instruments. Didn't do too much fiddling, much else. Just wanted to get clean frequencies and to maximize the good of what we had. So doing that compression on that master channel just boosted the frequencies. I mean, boosted the signal essentially for all the instruments combined, and after EQing it, we got a pretty nice sound. Everything's mixed fairly well. Our drums are pretty much on top of our melody. Melody's a little bit down and mixed, baked in, as opposed to what it was prior, where it was just complete loudness and garbage. So yeah, this is Andrew Pierre here of Beat AT Production and Publishing. Hopefully everything was useful for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and play up to the, I'm just gonna grab this section right here, and I'm gonna play this for you guys to listen to. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think about this. Did you learn? Was it helpful? And yeah, more videos to come.